Wait, no, 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 don't tell me Sam's okay. Tell me Sam's okay. Tell me those were not killing shots. Tell me there's still time to save him. No, please, come on, no. I was starting to like Sam, okay? Do not kill him off now. That is unfair. That is just unfair, okay? Oh, good. I had a feeling he was coming back in. I thought, you know, I got scared for a second. I thought maybe someone's about to jump out from the car and grab him and kidnap him or something. But no, someone just comes out of the shadows and shoots him down. God, fucking damn it! Why can none of Dexter's friends ever live? Why can none of his friends ever stay or live? Why? Why are the writers so evil? Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay. That happened. But I hope. I mean, I feel like I'm pulling at loose strings here, but I hope Sam still lives, or at least, you know, he's still, like, at worst he's in like a coma or something, or I don't know. But I hope he still lives. I hope he's okay. Damn. That sucks. But yeah, I do hope he's actually okay. Again, I feel like I'm pulling at loose strings, but I do hope he's actually okay. But yeah, no, I think where to start? So Lewis Green, he is a new intern, the one that that Masuka had to use to replace Ryan. And a part of me does think that he chose him, maybe having looked through his resume or whatever, and having found out that he's experienced with computers, and needed someone good on the technological side of things to actually get rid of the sale. But I do feel like now he did the best he could with the whole ice rocket arm thing. But he did do some added stuff. He upgraded Masuka's CPU, did a bunch of other stuff, and most likely added something to clean off all of that pornography on his PC, so it keeps it scot-free or as clean as possible. So, you know, might still need to kind of, you know, hose down that hard drive while wearing a hazmat suit and whatever. But yeah, for the most part, he did do a great job. So hats off to Lewis Green. What else? So Travis studied at the Tallahassee University, same as Gellar. I mean, well, Gellar taught there, and I think he did kind of mention at the end, like and until he met Gellar, he was lost and he was a student, and he crossed paths with Gellar, and they both started probably conversing about religious shit, and then their days together became more common than their days apart. And then I think Gellar probably just recruited Travis into his whole maniacal end of the world scheme with the Book of Revelations. But yeah, it's very clear to see that you know, Gellar has had this plan in place for years. He's been working on how to get to all these places. He's had that notebook full of drawings, and he's been working on how to actually reenact those drawings and reenact those pages, those chapters from the Book of Revelations, and actually trying to accurately build up to the end of the world and everything that's dictated in said book. So, you know, he's a man with experience and knowledge on this stuff, and he knows what needs to be done and how to do it. Whereas with Travis, he's still someone who's conflicted on the inside. He still has distractions, he still has other thoughts, and he's still a young adult, which I think he looks like he's in his, like, what, early to mid-20s, whereas Gellar looks to be in his, like, 40s maybe, 40s, 50s. Don't know if they've mentioned their ages before, but, you know, on at first glance, that's what I tell. But, you know, like, Travis, he's still very young. He's got his whole life ahead of him. He's at the stage in his own life where he would probably be ready to, you know, look for a relationship or look for a girlfriend or something like that. And you know, like, that kind of gets in the way of what Gellar's plan really is. So, you know, like, Gellar can easily sense that and see that, you know, every time they're out in a public place, he's always looking around, ogling the women, and just constantly asking permission. Like, is it alright if I take her home? Is it alright if I just go and talk to her for a minute? And Gellar's not really punishing him as of yet. I think for now, I think he is kind of seeing it as like an easy an easy temptation. Like he did say something along the lines of like, God gave men eyes so that they could look, or something like that. So yeah, I think he's just kind of telling him to have like, I think as long as he has self-control at the right moments, I think he's not too fussed about it. But I think at the end, I mean, he is hunting women now. He is looking for the whore of Babylon. So I think maybe because of that, Gellar is kind of letting him loose with his kind of hormonal kind of urges and tendencies and whatnot. So yeah, but the whore of Babylon, yeah, I don't know what exactly that is. I mean, I assume it's, I mean, the connection so far that I've made has been the 7 deadly sins and whatnot, and like since that brunette, the waitress Erin Bear, she slept with Travis and she was brunette, and then she was killed afterwards by Gellar. I assume it is kind of perhaps a woman of like sexual promiscuity, maybe like some kind of devilish woman or something. Like I don't know, like maybe because I mean I'm not dictating that this is religion as a whole, and I don't mean to offend anyone with this, but like I mean the way I've kind of heard it in like these kinds of darker depictions of what people use, like these kind of darker depictions of what people take religion to be. It's that, like a woman who uses her body like for her own pleasure or something is a sinner, whereas a woman who actually like graciously follows God's plans to reproduce with a man and continue that whole cycle of evolution, she's then useful, if anything. But if she uses her body for anything else, like if she uses her body for pleasure, her own or someone else's, then she's like she's like doing the devil's work, and that she's like a sinner and all that stuff. So I think maybe that's like a loose kind of description of who or what the whore of Babylon is. But I think let me go back and check. I think she was a brunette in that painting. I think I'm not too sure. Skip forward, backward a bit. No, too forward. Yeah, I think she is. Yeah, in that one, I think it's at an angle, so it's a bit weird. But I think she is a brunette. Yeah, she is a brunette in that one. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, the waitress was a brunette. She was a brunette, and have there been other female victims? I can't tell, but I mean, in all the pictures, like especially in all the pictures that that Batista found in Porter's in Gellar's notebook, all those drawings, the women were all brunette. So whether they were all different interpretations of what the Whore of Babylon is, or whether they were just like different kind of female labeled like antagonists in that story or whatever, I don't know. But I mean, from what I remember, all the women in those pictures, they were brunettes, and so far, like Gellar has expressed interest in brunettes, and even Porter herself was a brunette, and she even said, after a while, after he moved out, or he moved out, he just moved on to the next brunette. So he's been waiting to re-enact Planet into some time. He's been looking for his like resources since like a few years back, when he was still teaching. So yeah, so I think that I think he is exclusively looking down at brunettes and finding like all the ones who actually fit those pieces of this Book of Revelations puzzle. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I don't know how Gellar's going to react to it in future episodes, if this stuff is still going to go on. And even at the end of this episode, like after having had that talk with Dexter, and Travis himself seemed like he was coming to terms with it. Like, he never did any killing. None of the killing was ever him. He did, he studied art history, so he was good at making it look like it was supposed to be, and studying how it would it was meant to look like in the book. Gellar's the one with all the blood in his hands, but Travis is the one who actually modeled it up all right, so that they could actually ID it as the right kind of tableau. from the book. So he's the one who just kind of decorates it all nice, but he's not strong enough to do killings. I mean, I feel like that's mainly in reference to willpower. Like he doesn't have he doesn't have the inner strength in him to actually bring himself to kill someone. Whereas Gellar, he's so far gone into this kind of rabbit hole of religion that he knows what's needed. Like he in his mind he knows what needs to be done and when it needs to be done and all that stuff. So he's already prepared for it in some sense. But I think he is maybe holding back on Travis for now. Like he's not being super like strict with him. Like he is kind of letting him go his own way just for now. Just like probably because it fits in with his plan now. Because he needs to find a woman. He needs to find the Whore of Babylon. So someone younger and more like more in their prime for like socializing and like being like going out and meeting people would be ideal for them to actually take down that kind of a target. But I mean, in the car he did kind of point out the couple and pick up a woman from said couple, so he could still have the ability for it. But yeah, that's that. So he stole it. So he steals page numbers from the Bible, from the Book of Revelations. The page numbers in the corner, he cuts them out and then sticks them in like wherever in the body, like in the intestines, dude. It was in the intestines. In the jogger dude and the four horsemen dude, it was in here under his eyelid, I think it was. And then I think in Erin Bear's body, I think it was in her esophagus, like on, I think that's like around here, like maybe like the windpipe or something. That's where Vince said he found that. So he's stealing those page numbers, and I think it may well be like page numbers with like I think from what Mike said with the tableaus, it is basically page numbers that actually quote the chapters that actually that the crime scenes are reenacted from. So he is kind of leaving those clues and those trails for the Miami PD to actually be able to like identify it from. So I mean, he's doing that, but I mean, he said it's because Gellar they deduced that it's because Gellar wants them to kind of send the message and like to actually make this public news and warn everyone that the end is coming and this is what's happening. So, but I don't know if he's ever had or if he's going to start suddenly having kind of proper kind of doubts, and he's going to start trying to lead the Miami PD into like this whole operation and try and like help them solve it. Or like help them catch Gellar for whatever reason. But towards the end there, he was having second thoughts. He did kind of go away from this, and I think he doesn't. I mean, so far we haven't really seen him IDing it as like identifying it as anything wrong, unless he feels emotionally disturbed by it. Like with the waitress, he liked her, he dated her, he slept with her, and he didn't want her to die for that reason. But besides from that, he hasn't really shown a huge amount of reluctance, just like a kind of disbelief as to whether or not he's actually suited for this, or if he actually has the strength for it. But now I think he actually might, like, now that he like he properly explained it to Dexter and told him, like, I'm not the one who does the killing, I'm not strong enough for that, that's Gellar's job. I just do all of this and that. So and then he started thinking to himself like, oh, maybe I'm not strong enough, maybe this isn't really who I am, like maybe I'm not really worth any of this energy, maybe Gellar's better suited to do this alone. So him walking away at the end may have been a sign that he's like kind of considering stepping down. But Gellar did leave him a kind of ominous message, like, you can like Jonah tried to run from God but he didn't get too far, so just know that even if you run, I will still use the power of God to find you and everything like that. So, yeah, but I mean, he could be having second thoughts, but I don't know. We will see how that goes on in the next episode. What else? So, yes, those drawings were the Alpha and Omega Enezeret. So, no idea what that is, but that was I assume that's maybe like a phase or something in religious history that he was reenacting, like from the Book of Revelation or something. But again, not sure myself. But that's what those drawings were: the snakes and the victim, the angel, and everything else. That's what those all were. What else? So Deb gets therapy. I feel like that's a long time coming because, you know, she's faced a lot of shit over the years. Even before becoming a lieutenant, she's faced a lot of struggles and a lot of stuff. So I feel like, you know, this is long overdue, and finally her therapist got up to her instead. She refused, and she kept dodging the appointments left, right, and centre for weeks. So her therapist decided to visit her in the lieutenant's office instead, and right she did. She got some good words out of her, she got some answers, so they finally have a good kind of start to go from. But yeah, I mean, that I think at first, like she was never into therapy. I think to begin with, she I think, I don't know if it was just like a reluctance to go, or like an anxiety or a disbelief that therapy would help. But I think originally the therapy offer came from the police department because of like her shooting. So that was, I feel like that would be more related to like physiotherapy, but also maybe with a little actual like mental therapy mixed into it to actually see how she's reeling in from being shot and whatnot. But wait, was she shot during the restaurant shooting? I think so. Yeah, I can't remember. I think because I think back to when she was shot, and all I can picture is Trinity's daughter shooting her in season 4. That's what I think back to when I think, oh, was she shot? But I can't tell if she was actually shot in the restaurant shoot. I think she was. Yeah, I think she probably was. I think she actually did take like a week or two off. So yeah, but now she gets therapy, and she's kind of finally unloading most, if not all, of the stress that she has of being lieutenant, of like the struggle of being the new lieutenant, having rejected Quinn's proposal, and as a result not having a place to live. Like, I didn't know that. I thought she still had her own apartment, but she was just living with Quinn because they were together. Like, that was just like their like the next step in their relationship. But I always figured she still had like somewhat had her own apartment. But no, I mean, it makes sense because I say that, but I still remember that she did live with Dexter before having moved in with Quinn. So I don't know why I just assumed she had a different place. Oh wait, no, because it was didn't he say something like didn't he say something like he would lease his old house out there, like the one he lived with Rita in? I think I remember him saying like something like him maybe offering Deb that house, or Deb asking for that house or something, because he was moving back into his apartment anyway. Like, so something like that happened. I don't know if it ever went through. But she did live with Quinn, but now she has no place of her own, so she is staying with Dexter, which then leads into the next problem, because she enjoys bringing her work home, because her lieutenant's office doesn't really feel like a workable place for her yet. But then bringing work home means bringing crime scene pictures back to the house, back into the environment in which a child populates. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen it being made a big deal. Like, Dexter has looked up criminals right in front of Harrison whilst holding him in one arm and is typing criminal shit in on the laptop in the other. And I think it was earlier in this series, I'm pretty sure, that he had like Harrison in one lap, like on one leg, just like playing with a toy or something, and then literally not even like 2 feet away from him on the other side of his lap, he was looking at crime scene photos. Like, literally all Harrison had to do was take a glance and be like, oh, daddy, that man's head looks a bit red. Like, that's literally all it took, and it did happen. He did turn around, and that whole stuff with Daddy's box went down, and he had to buy Harrison his own toy box. So, you know, I feel like I think internally, I mean, obviously internally speaking, Dexter made a bigger deal out of that than he did, and he, you know, made a vow to keep Harrison away from all of that stuff, and bought him his own box as well. But with Deborah, I think she's just like, you know, she's got too much going on to be able to think about everything, and, you know, she's trying to solve one thing at a time, but she can't even solve one thing. So then that then led into Harrison walking over to say goodnight, and just walking through a pile of crime scene pictures, and then Jamie getting upset at that, and then both of them having a little bit of an argument. So yeah, I feel like, I mean, yeah, I think Deb, I think it's obvious, like that is the kind of stuff you should be keeping away from children, no matter what age they are, and like, you know, like it's everything that should be covered up. I thought I thought she would at least like kind of recognize him coming in and then just quickly shove the photos under the table or something and then kiss him goodnight. But again, she just doesn't really have much space to think. She doesn't have much time to think anymore, and you know, she's just acting on instinct, and she had to go into cute, like, bubbly auntie mode instead of quick, like, secretly guilty auntie mode, just, you know, working on crime scene photos outside of office hours and whatnot. So, you know, hopefully she will be safer and more careful next time round. But yeah, she gets therapy, so it's going to be fun to see what she actually talks about in those sessions and what kind of stresses she has to let out. She gets a new house, which is the site of a new murder/suicide location. So yeah, I mean it's a big place. It's comfortable, and for her, I think you know, like she even kind of talked about how nice of a place it was, like right by the beach, and nothing like a nice murder-suicide investigation to spice things up a little bit. So yes, I think she said she was gonna. She said she was gonna pay $2,000. I think he made her a deal of paying 3/4 of the rent, like on the spot, and then doing like something else, and then like what was it? Oh yeah, she does the cleaning herself, so she cleans up the blood herself. So yeah, I mean, Mike did say that, you know, chances are you're gonna have to replace the floor as a whole because, you know, the blood toxicity has already seeped into the floors, and you're gonna spawn new shit just from that. So she has to do all the cleaning up herself. So I feel like that's gonna be some renovation work that goes on. But she has her own house. So that is a step up. That is a nice step up. And I figured like if she if and when she did go back on the market, she would be looking for something bigger, since she's lieutenant now. She has a higher salary, she can afford it. And you know, she should have her own open space, like as open as she needs it to be able to not just work but actually live in a stress-free environment and actually, you know, walk around and be, you know, comfy and whatnot, you know, instead of being cramped in like a 1-bedroom apartment with other noisy neighbors. But yeah, so this definitely works out for her. So a new house, interesting backstory to it as a cop as well. And she's already willing to pay it, like, you know, like her being a cop, like her being a lieutenant at the police department that solved the murder is kind of ideal, since she's already willing to buy it. But other people would probably still have their suspicions, like, oh, what if like the ghost is still haunting the place? Well, I don't know. Other people still have their suspicions. They wouldn't be as willing, but Deborah's already willing and kind of and like, you know, actively seeking housing. So yeah, that is all good and great too. What else? So the Dex and Sam's friendship was blossoming. Well, it is blossoming. I still have hope. It is blossoming. But yeah, no, they that was really sweet of Sam too. Like, I mean, he did come in because of the shooting, but he still cared about Harrison. He was still asking how he was. Then he came by with the beers, and he bought a little teddy bear for Harrison to cuddle with as well. That was really sweet. And he's genuinely friendly towards Dexter, and he's been nothing but friendly since the start. And he cares about Harrison. He brought that gift for him. And you know, he is the kind of guy that, you know, like, he is a character with like a religious background, but like that's not all there is to him. He will happily talk about religion if you want to talk about it with him. He will talk about his own experiences and, you know, help you. And if you yourself are looking to go down the religious path, he will happily help you find the right path, and he will help you find the right faith and find out what kind of practice of faith actually suits you best. He won't make you go exactly the way he does, because he knows that's not the right way for everyone. But he's just a genuinely cool kind of dude who just, you know, like he's religious as well, and he's happy to talk about God and stuff like that. So, you know, so the ending very much pissed me off, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that again. But you know, he had a few beers with Dexter and just, you know, had a bit of a chit chat. And you know, and now this episode was Dexter's turn to share some backstory with him, talking about how when he was 3, he saw his own mother murdered, in the shipping container thing. So, you know, like, Sam rightfully, you know, like thought that was pretty fucking dark and messed up. But I think there was something else that he actually said. I mean, whoa, first of all, the fact that Dexter still has happy memories of his mother is amazing. Like, I never thought those would exist. I figured the darkness had gotten in so deep that, you know, all signs of light had just kind of been blotted out and whatnot. But he still has happy memories of her. He still remembers how she would tuck him in at night and sing him to sleep under his quilt. She would like trail her fingers behind his ear and play games with him, and she was a mother to him, like an actual mother. So he still remembers that stuff, but it's just not as prominent as the much darker, louder kind of stuff, you know. So that was really cool to hear, the fact that he does still have happy memories of his mother, and he does still remember what she was like outside of the trauma. But what thingy, the thing that Sam said really kind of stuck with me when he said it, like, you know, I think, I don't know what it was word for word. Let me go back and check it again. Where is it? Is it right here? Blood work, yeah. Yeah, it's with you. The darkness inside him, yeah. What else? Yeah, there's no darkness that the light can't overcome. So all the darkness that you think you got, all it takes is just a little bit of light. So all it takes, like no matter how much darkness you have inside of you, all it takes is a little bit of light to keep that at bay. So, you know, me being me, I kind of translated that I kind of internally translated like to what that might mean for Dexter. And obviously his darkness is his dark passenger, the darkness that entered him the day that his mother died and the day he saw it all happen, and the days that he spent in her blood in that container, and like the kind of that kind of fracture in his psyche that was born from that is his darkness, and like everything he hates about himself. But the light, I feel like, you know, he said the light keeps the dark at bay. So I feel like in Dexter's sense, the light may be the code, because without the code, there is like Dexter has little self-control, or he has a little kind of sanity, if you will. But, you know, Harry taught Dexter the code to keep the darkness at bay, and to kind of teach him to use his darkness for good, and to like to find the right way to actually exhibit and like to actually release that darkness. He taught him the code, and like, you know, taught him, you know, like there are, like, you know, you can kill, but kill the people who need to die or who deserve to die. Like, you know, don't go around killing innocent people, because, you know, there are people who are genuinely bad in the world, people who do bad things just for hurting the sake of others and all that stuff. So he created that code, he enforced it into Dexter at a young age, and that kept his darkness at bay. That kept him from killing anyone or anything else, from doing anything that might get him caught and incarcerated. So I feel like in Dexter's sense, like the code that Harry instilled in him, the code he's been following for years and years and years, like that may be the light inside him that's keeping him at bay. That, and like some other stuff as well, like the family and friends he has, like the family, like his son, he needs to stay, you know, he needs to keep the darkness at bay for his son, so his son never ever finds out about this stuff, and he never gets drawn into it the way he was, and nothing bad ever happens to him. And, you know, he wants to keep his friends and family safe, like Astra and Cody and Deborah and his friends at the Mind PD, and he wants to keep them all safe. And, you know, the code is the light that shines on that darkness. Like, it keeps it, like, you know, like the darkness can never be kept like pulled out. Like even Sam said, for him, like his, like, I think for Sam, his light would be like, you know, having been graciously touched by the light of God, and, you know, now he's working with his brothers and sisters, like his brothers at the car repair shop, and he's doing good. So, you know, that stuff is what's keeping Sam's darkness at bay, and he even said himself, like, that darkness hasn't left to this day. Like, he doesn't think it's ever gonna leave, but every day he wakes up and he kicks its ass just a little more, just every day. So he has his own light keeping the darkness at bay. But with Dexter, I feel like that would be the code, like the one thing keeping him from doing the wrong thing, and the one thing kind of keeping him sane and keeping him boxed up and keeping him kind of secure and together, so to speak. So yeah, I feel like that was like a nice little kind of subtextual kind of analogy that I like managed to pick up on. But yeah, again, it just that just shows how like good Sam and Dexter's friendship. I almost said Sam and Dean. How good Sam and Dexter's friendship has become. You know, like, you know, he's like, Sam's like not forcing him into anything, but he's always happy to like offer advice in the best way he knows how, with God's presence and God's light and everything. Like, you know, he knows it may not always work, but it's the best he can do. And even if it helps Dexter just a little bit, then he considers that a job well done. And you know, like, Dexter's fine with it as well. Dexter's fine with it as well. He doesn't shun Sam aside for having religious beliefs. He doesn't shun him aside saying, "Oh, you believe in all this BS, it's not really helping me." He actually takes the time to think about it and see if it could be applicable to him. And if not, then, you know, he goes back to using the code. But, you know, if it does, then he thinks more about it and thinks more about how it affects him and how to move forward, knowing that this kind of stuff exists. So again, I think in that sense, this season is actually going pretty well in like maintaining Dexter's kind of character whilst also allowing him to explore all these new kind of possibilities and whatnot. So yeah, that was that too. I don't know what else there is in particular. Again, hope Sam lives. I am praying that Sam lives. I sincerely hope to God that Sam lives, because he's too good to lose, and he's too good of a friend to Dexter for Dexter to lose. But yeah, damn, really do not want to see him go away. Really do not want to see him go. But we will see in the next episode what happens with him. We will see more of Dexter hunting down Travis and Gellar, or more Gellar in this, because he now knows that Travis isn't really the one hugely responsible. Gellar is the one like orchestrating this whole thing, but Travis is more like a puppet. We'll see more of Deborah's her therapy and seeing how she settles into her new house when the renovation work starts and all that stuff. And yeah, more of this whole Doomsday Killer investigation. We'll see how it all goes. But yeah, that was Dexter, Season 6, Episode 5, titled The Angel of Death. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next for Dexter and company. And yeah, that's it. So, I will see you guys next time.